Let's see. That way we are chatting. All right, we're on. Well, welcome, Ariane. Thank you so much for
Thank
taking
you.
time out of your schedule today to come and join us. And I'm really excited to share, some of your knowledge with the rest of the group. Yeah, Laurence is going to be live with us tonight. And I just thought maybe I share a little bit about who you are and what you do, and then please feel free to fill in anything that I forgot. I still have a little bit the mummy brain, so I tend to forget a lot of things lately. But it's fun to tell that I met Ariane, at least 15 years ago or something like that. Something like that, right? 1997? No, I mean 1997. 2007 we met. 2007. And
Yeah,
Ariane was at the time
maybe
2007
I would say
or 6.
yeah, 2006.
6. We met in 2006 and we got close in 2007.
Yes.
And Ariane was at the time the vocal teacher of my cousin, and I met her at a concert she organized for her students. And I think the first time was the first time in New York, or was the first time in Connecticut?
I think it was the first time in New York.
In New York, yeah. And it was awesome. And she was this really nice and bright person. And I really liked her energy, and something in her attracted me to her. And then later I found out what it was.
Mhm.
And she's also the one that led me to discover the Avatar course, which is something we're going to talk about tonight. And it's still to this day, so it's a self-development course I did back 13, 14 years ago, and it's still to this day one of the best investments I made in myself, and I learned so many things. They still I apply every day. Is also the place where I met my soulmate, so my honey Quentin, and a ton of amazing other people which I'm still friends with all over the world. And so Ariane is a teacher. She writes, she sings, she teaches, and she's a mommy of 3 beautiful girls. And currently, she is living in Switzerland. But we met in the United States back then.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to fill in, my dear?
I think you said pretty much all. Yeah, I'm a vocal coach, a writer, and an avatar master. So I would say my life is divided in those things professionally, and then my family, of course. I have my 3 girls, and I think today you invited me because you did Avatar with me. I was a very young master at the time. You were my first student, actually. So
Oh
that was
yeah, that's right.
yeah. You're my number one student.
Totally forgot. Oh wow, how cool.
So that was really cool. And I was teaching voice to Natasha, your cousin. And yeah, I got to know a little bit your family, and it was nice. So the thing is, you invited me today because I think you mentioned yesterday that you wanted to talk about limiting beliefs, but maybe I can tell a little bit what Avatar is about,
Mm-hmm.
because I think it's a little bit interesting to know how it works and how it's different from other methodologies. Because I've done many things before Avatar and after Avatar because I'm an explorer and I like to just read books or do workshops. And um, the thing that is very different about Avatar, I would say, is that it gives you a technology that will allow you to access your consciousness. And what is consciousness? So I would say consciousness is our software, the interface that we have that is in between our essence and the world. And I don't know, Laurence, if you have heard about like positive thinking or thinking positively will attract the right things or things like that. I don't know you at all, but maybe you've heard of those concept of like law of attraction, or have you heard about that? Okay. So before Avatar, I knew that what I was thinking would kind of like attract the reality that I was in. Okay. The only thing is that it's not like putting another layer of like, okay, I have to think I'm beautiful. I have to think I'm, I don't know, successful, or that I do this right, or because this is kind of like adding something to our consciousness. What Avatar is so unique about is that you go within the consciousness, within your interface, and then you can actually model it as you wish. So with the tools, with the exercises, you become more aware of your consciousness, also how it's formed, how it works, how it doesn't work, how it's creating shit for you, or how it's creating beautiful things for you, and with that knowledge and the tools, then you can reconstruct it and reshuffle, so you can have a life that maybe is becoming more aligned with who you are right now, and not a life that is from the past. Because all our thoughts, our mind thinks, the mind thinks that actually it knows, but what it's doing is just repeating the past. Okay, I know that because I had that experience. I know that because I had that experience. That person is this way. That person is that way. All of those thoughts. And then we prove ourselves right by thinking them and viewing only what we want to see. So with Avatar, what I think is so powerful is that it can make your viewpoint expand. You can see things you've never seen before. You can actually grow and become more the person you really want to be. So this is, I think, Avatar, my viewpoint on it. Because I mean, maybe you see something different,
No,
Nancy,
I think
and
it's a
you know.
nice way you described it. Definitely nice.
Okay. All right. If you have any questions, Laurence, about it, just let me know and I'll answer, of course. I don't
Oh,
hear you. We don't hear you.
yeah, she's coming.
No,
I
I'm
mean, she's
muted.
coming.
It makes me curious to know about the tools, obviously, because the concept and yeah, it's obviously
Yes.
inviting, right? So if you have tools like this, it seems like something magical that
It
like you have
feels
a
like,
key, maybe.
well, it feels like it's magical. I would say it is. Really, it is, because when you really are willing to explore and make the changes, it really does happen. But it's not like woo woo magical. It's really concrete
Obviously.
magical.
Yeah.
And today I will be sharing a couple of exercises with you. And if you are interested and if you like it, then I will send you, if you allow me to have your email, I'll send you some more. There's like a pamphlet with 10 exercises that you can do, like, like one every day, or, however and how intense you want to work on it. And of course, there are very regular classes. Like, I teach now on Zoom, very regular classes. So, but first, let's do a little bit of today. And Nancy, you had some questions about limiting beliefs. So,
Well, the reason why I invited you is because we're doing this detox this month. And I thought, for me, it's not just about cleaning out your body, but I think it's about cleaning out the energy. And I know I gained so much more space from doing all the exercises. Every time I did, either was a short workshop or a longer course, I always came back with the feeling that I created so much space. And indeed, what you say, that so much more was possible. And then my viewpoints were so so different, or so open, or so flexible. And that's a little bit of what I wanted to give the group this month,
okay.
a little bit of a taste. And I thought maybe we could talk about limiting beliefs, but shifting viewpoints, it doesn't really matter. Yeah.
Yes. So about detoxing, of course, I mean, our minds are bombarded by so much. Like, we have so much coming in. It's like this: publicity, advertising, work. And nowadays, we're always on our screens, especially with this pandemic. We are on our screens all the time. This is the way we can connect. I mean, you know, um, a year and something ago, with Avatar, we would get together in a hotel and we would do a workshop, like 2 days or 9 days or however long you wanted to stay, but we would get together. Now we do it on Zoom. So, from the comfort of our home, somehow it opened up possibilities, because some people, it was hard for them to travel. Like, for example, now we have a whole group of people who are doing the courses from Iran, and they couldn't travel, they wouldn't get the visa. So it opened up possibilities for many, many people. Also the Philippines, and people who are having more, difficulty to get visas to travel. So now it opened possibilities in that sense, but in another way, we don't get together anymore. And we are always on our screens, which is, always like giving us information. And if you want to cleanse your mind, I would say Avatar is actually the tool. Like, this is a path to be present, to perceive things without being at the effect of things. So you perceive life, but you don't feel like you are at the effect of life all the time, which is, I think, what
a huge win.
people think, more usual. Like, people think they're at the effect of, like, oh, my boss told me that, oh my, and then they feel at the effect. And I'm not saying that in a blaming way, I'm just saying this is the way we function normally. And there's a little part, oh, we have a Stephanie connecting. Welcome, Stephanie. So the power of Avatar is that it will actually make you step back a little bit and be more source, so then you can look at things without being at the effect of it. So we have in our minds so many limiting beliefs, and I'm not talking only about weight, or because maybe detox is also linked to losing weight, or maybe shedding some, or I don't know, like, or maybe getting more healthy, or so we can have all kinds of beliefs that are running, and you can do whatever you want. Like, some people go on diets, but the problem is that if you don't have the right belief that go with the actions you are doing, it's not going to last. Whatever is going to last is what your consciousness is made of. So actually working on both will make the changes, so lasting changes, actually.
How about you give us an example of it? Like, what would be something, like a limiting belief, or what will create something that's not matching with the experience that we wish to create?
So give me an example of a reality you'd like to create.
Like, I am 15 kilo lighter.
Okay, so let's say you want to lose 15 kilos after having had a baby. I would just explore all the beliefs that I have about that. So what I can do, if I can do now, maybe share the screen. No, I can't.
No, well, let me...
You want to make me host, maybe?
Yeah, it's coming.
Okay, so I can share my screen. And you will... Okay, hold on.
Maybe while you're doing that, I can. I just remember that every time I came back from doing a course, I felt like one of the first things that people said to me, it was like that I look so bright. Yeah. And I just literally felt every time like I was shedding different layers of this onion, like every time I kept getting to the core of things,
Exactly. It's so funny, like, we're making so much effort in order to make changes, but unfortunately we are often not making the effort that is going to really make the changes last. And I think the actions in the world have to be accompanied by the mindset or by the belief system that will reinforce it and not work against it. That's, I think, most like probably one of the major reasons that change don't last, like especially in diets or things that are physical. So here is an exploration that we can do about losing 15 pounds or 15 kilos. So belief filters exploration. And I can send you also the link, Laurence and Stephanie, or whoever wants it. So the coach, which I'm going to be, is going to ask, describe how you see something, an object, a person, or an event. And in this case, it's an event. It's the event of wanting to lose 15 kilos. The student answers, and then the coach acknowledges the answer. And then the coach then asks, describe another viewpoint on that. And then we're going to repeat this 2, 3, and 4 until the student releases on the object, person, or event, or until the student has a realization. So I'm going to stop the share because I think it's nicer to see each other. So describe how you see losing weight or losing 15 kilos.
Man, right now it feels like this huge mountain I have to climb. And I was on top of this mountain 2 years ago, and now I have to climb way back to mountain. And yeah, it feels like I have way less time to do that. So it's going to take me a little bit longer to get on top of that mountain.
Okay. Describe another viewpoint on it.
Yeah, that it means I have to also give up some things or limit eating some things.
Describe another viewpoint on it.
Yeah, it also means I have to choose, you know, if I'm spending time dedicating, you know, like working out or moving more, that I have to give up some other things.
Describe another viewpoint on it.
I'm gonna have to say no more often to good food.
Okay, describe another viewpoint on it.
Yeah, that I can, you know, like spoil myself a little less often right now. So like once every few weeks, you order something nice, you know, like takeout. Right now it's takeout because you can't go out to the restaurant.
Okay, describe another viewpoint on it.
Yeah, also like that I have to say no to the glass bubbles, you know, a little prosecco or something like that every once in a while. You know, I don't drink a lot, but now
what's that viewpoint of saying no to things? What's that viewpoint?
The viewpoint, it feels like I need to sacrifice or deny or yeah.
Okay, describe another viewpoint.
Yeah, I'm coming a bit blank.
Okay, so that's another viewpoint.
Okay, that's good.
Blank, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
And what's another viewpoint on it?
Yeah, also that if I want faster results, I need to invest more in maybe a program or something that's going to give me faster results.
Okay, describe another viewpoint on losing 15 kilos. And I'm just going to remind you of the definition of a viewpoint because I didn't say it. A viewpoint is a definition from which something is viewed. So it's a definition. It's you viewing things through that.
Mm-hmm.
So what's another viewpoint on losing 15 kilos?
Also that it's going to be difficult. That right now it feels like it's going to be difficult.
Okay. What's another viewpoint on it?
Yeah, that it's right now it just takes me more effort because I you know, I'm also so tired, so I don't feel like moving so much all the time like I did, you know, 15 months ago or 20 months ago.
So what's that viewpoint?
That I'm you know, that I'm tired, that I don't have enough energy.
Okay, yeah. What's another viewpoint on losing 15 kilos?
Well, once I lose that, I'm gonna feel better.
Okay.
Getting there.
Interesting.
Yeah,
So you get a shift there?
Yeah, definitely got a shift there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you feel the release of attention?
Yeah.
Woo!
Yes, definitely.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. Cool. Yeah. So maybe Laurence, if you have something you want to work on or explore, I can guide you through if you want. It's up to you.
I prefer not live. No.
Tell me again.
I prefer not live. No.
Okay, I get it.
Okay,
Yeah, maybe
I
we
get it.
can do it. I understand, Laurence, but maybe we can connect and do it at another point together.
Thank you.
if
Yeah,
you
thank
want.
you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
without recording. Yeah, I understand.
But it was interesting because I wanted to say, like, you're gonna get something out of this. It's gonna be super. But
Yeah.
you were saying only the difficulties about it, although all the sacrifice and not
Yes.
the results.
The only thing I can tell you from experience is that telling somebody what they are doing wrong doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Then they don't get the release and they don't get the discovery, because the discovery itself is as valuable as what they discover.
Sure.
The feeling of discovering something in your consciousness is priceless. It's like a kid making, walking for the first time, or getting dressed for the first time, or when you discover something in your consciousness, then it's kind of like finding a little treasure. And if you give it to them, it's not a treasure anymore.
Yeah,
So
I like
even if you were feeling the right thing, I never say anything. I just keep the questions, because the discovery is like what makes it valuable.
What do you do with the discovery afterwards? Because
you do nothing. It changes already. It changes. You have a release in you will feel it when we do it together. You will feel it. You can tell Nancy, I don't know. Tell me what you felt.
I was I wanted to say that one of the things that I read, like when we do the resurfacing workshops, one of the first things that you read in the book is like that's a haha moment. And you don't really get what that is until you have it the first time, and you're like, oh my God, that's such a good way of describing it. It's like a haha, and
exactly.
Yeah, indeed, something shifts in you if you feel, you, like you said, you
like
feel
you changed a little pattern, already. So then you don't need to do anything with it. Sometimes during the course we do things with the discoveries, but not for this exercise. It depends on the exercise, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and what I like is that you experience yourself something, like you said, you're not doing the work for someone else, but someone else is doing the work, and then they also feel what's happening. So you're getting guided through something, but you're actually doing everything. So you're guiding me through something, and of course I already knew where I was going, but still, like
sometimes you do know, sometimes you don't, sometimes it's very surprising, sometimes it's not. It doesn't matter, really. What matters is the release of attention, like suddenly poof, and then you feel that. And that is just one of like so many exercises. Like this is like, like this is the first exercise that we can do.
Can I ask, Ariane, when you are working with a group of people, so you manage to do the exercises in group, or everyone works?
No, I do it individually, and I have enough masters to guide everybody.
Okay, all right.
Yes, that's one-on-one.
Even if I would have 10 students, I would have 9 people probably, or 8 people coming and help me out.
Yeah, 9 coaches, let's say.
Yeah. Absolutely. I would say Avatar is in that very unique that everybody gets a coach pretty much for 9 days. Yeah. The course itself is 9 days, and the result of the course is a source being. I don't know if you hear my kids screaming a little bit in the back. I'm sorry.
It's not distracting. I mean, it's not distracting to me anyway.
Okay.
I lost the last sentence. You say you have a coach for 9 days.
Yeah, I said the course is 9 days, and the result of the course is a source being. Like I was describing before, somebody who's not so much at the effect of life, but that is a source of their own universe. Somebody who's source of their own universe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's interesting because now while you're talking about that, I realized that sometimes I get like feedback from someone like last week something pretty big happened with our baby. You know, he had to go to the hospital, he had some high fever. And then I'm talking to a friend of mine on the phone and she's like, I don't know how you could stay that calm. I don't know why you're that, you know, you're that center. I would be freaking out, you know, she said, if that happened to me. And now that you're talking, I'm realizing it's because I can shift my mind to look at things in a different way. Like, you know,
Yes.
when it was happening last week, I thought, okay, I need to be now present and I need to focus my attention on what it is that I need to do so I can take care of, you know, the baby and we can take the right steps, you know, so he's going to be okay. And I never feel that fear like I did, you know, maybe, I don't know, 20 years ago or something. I just still, even though there's you're reacting to something, but I still think that I'm the one that is in control all the time. And control is a bad word, you know, like, yeah, that's
mastery.
Yeah, but like I'm mastering everything that's happening. So it's interesting how, yeah, you get that feedback from other people as well.
Yes. I think when you do the avatar course, it stays with you for life.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, it's not something that you do and that, I mean, it's a path. I see it as a path. And there's the avatar course, that's 9 days. And then there's the master's course, that's 9 days. And you don't have to want to teach avatar to do the master's course. That was not my intention in the first place at all. I wanted to have the master's course to get to know myself more and to be a better singer and to build my practice and then when I came back, people noticed me differently. They noticed I had done something that was bright and they were like, what did you do? And I said, I did avatar and I did the master's course. Can you teach us now? And that was it. And then I went to my first delivery in Florida, and Nancy was part of that delivery, June 2007. But it wasn't my intention in the first place. But then I love people and I love, I love empowering people. And Avatar was really just it was already like, in my way of thinking somehow. Just there, it was really applying everything. Yeah, it applied everything for me. Um, so my kids I raised with Avatar, they all did the course. When I say that, it's not that I'm doing exercises with them every day, it's not that, not at all. But it's more like empowering them. Like, for example, my 7-year-old was with me today at work, and I have a vocal coaching studio in Zurich. It's amazing place, and there's a park right there, right behind the studio. And at some point she said, I'm going outside, and she went playing, and she's 7. And then my student was like, wow, she just put her shoes and she went. Like, she was so confident, had no fear. And even though she knows not to go to with strangers, and and she was not far, but still that self-confidence, and that, I think Avatar really helped me raise them in that way. So that's one example. I mean, Avatar did so much for me. I cannot even start with, like, even for body pains. I have a handicap from birth, and I was always on crutches, and I had so much pain. And now, since I've done Avatar, I did have sometimes relapse, but I would say now for the last 7 years, 6, 7 years, I didn't have any medication, and which is miracle for me, you know, because my aunt who has the same handicap is on medication every day of her life, you know. And so I think it's not because my handicap is less than hers, but more because I did the mind work that released the tension in my body and the trauma from my body. You know, my hips are still handicapped, but I don't charge them with emotions that will make them suffer. So I think that's really important. You can always make the best of things or the worst of things.
Mm-hmm.
That's always what I say. Yeah. So there's another exercise we can maybe
Yeah, I was
do
gonna say maybe we could do something
together.
else.
I'm gonna share my screen again.
Oh, are you a host? Yeah, you're still a host, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still a host. And I want to do this exercise because it's a beautiful one. And it's called the this and that exercise. And it's guided by Harry Palmer, who's the actually the creator of the course. And it's really to start taking a little bit of distance with things. So I want you to follow along, and we can discuss it after. We can do a little more after together, but let's do it with the voice of Harry first. So the objective is to demonstrate the effect of changing viewpoints, and then the expected results, insights, increase in responsibility. And tell me if it's loud enough. Is it okay?
The dictionary defines viewpoint as the mental position from which something is viewed. I would suggest to you that viewpoint is more than a position. It's also a way in which one defines oneself. And this definition filters what is viewed. For instance, an auto mechanic notices cars, a gardener notices plants, a barber notices people's hairstyle. People who are unable to change their viewpoints are stuck in a creation. So let's work on changing viewpoints for a minute. Notice something near you. Let's say you noticed a book. Think of it for a minute as this book. Okay, now think of it as that book. Pick another object and think of it as this. And then think of it as that. Once more, pick something a little further away from you and think of it as this. And then think of it as that. Notice how you feel when you're thinking of something as this. Compare it to how you feel when you're thinking of it as that. Think of your body as this body. That's the normal viewpoint of self. Now think of your body as that body. That's the viewpoint of higher self.
So, how was your experience, Laurence?
I was thinking when he asked, what do you feel different between this and that? I was, oh my God, nothing. A bit more when the question was on this body and that body.
Yes.
I felt like I was looking at that body from outside and instead this body I was really feeling inside. So that was interesting. But otherwise, beforehand, this bottle, this book, this, that, I didn't feel any different.
Yeah. It's interesting, for example, if you have a subject that's very near to you, like, I don't know, this project, that project, this person in the project, that person in the project, you can take every aspect. One of the way of using the exercise, you can take every aspect of the project, write it down, and then make this and that, this and that, this and that, and then look at the effect it has on you.
Mhm.
Observe it, but do it a little, like, do it like consciously, like for maybe, you know, 7 minutes, and then look at how it can have an effect on you. And you can take anything. You can also take about detoxing. You can take all your thoughts about detoxing, or all the aspect about a relationship, or, you know, like, take one subject, write it down, and then for 5 minutes do it. And you can do it more than once on one thing, you know, until you feel the difference. And
Can I say
maybe the,
something?
Yes,
yeah.
sure.
I noticed comparing this and that with the book or whatever the other subjects I had here, I noticed like a kind of negative feeling towards that. If I looked at it as that that object, but when it came to looking at the body, indeed, this body feels more like your own, and that body felt like more distant and non-judgmental. Okay, that body.
Mhm. Yeah, non-judgmental.
Yeah.
That's the viewpoint of higher self.
So
Okay.
is there a judgment on whether this or that is better?
No, it's just changing viewpoint. And the ability to change viewpoint will raise your ability to look at life from different viewpoints. And then you can position yourself in the best viewpoint possible. Like Nancy was telling about the disease of her baby, like, the best viewpoint possible was probably to be present in the moment and not be overwhelmed by emotions. Because if she would have been overwhelmed by emotions, she would have all her attention on her and not on helping her baby. You see? So you can actually decide then much more deliberately on
Mhm.
how you want to be, like, as a human being. How do you want to be present? Like, do you want to be in that position or in this position? But there's no judgment. Like, you decide, you know. The goal of the avatar course is to be is to live deliberately, which means to decide on your actions and to say
Amy's
and
gonna
to,
join us.
yeah, hi Annie.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hey, Amy, welcome. Hey.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. I'm Ariane.
Hi,
So,
Ariane.
this was we just did an exercise and we're discussing it. So it's really the goal of the avatar course is to enable you to be more deliberate and not to live from past experience, which are stored in your consciousness. And that's where, what I started with. The consciousness is like your software that you accumulated during the years. And avatar would enable you to go inside it and start resorting and be a little bit more flexible with it and not be stuck with one creation. you know okay, I want to do another exercise with you guys.
I think, can I share something before we go?
Yeah, sure, of course.
I think one of the things that surprised me the most about a lot of the exercises we did, at least in the beginning, was that they, when you read the exercise, they felt really simple, and your head wanted to say, "This can't be that easy," and then and maybe sometimes in the beginning you're like, "I'm not getting this," whatever this is that you're trying to sell to me, I'm not getting this. And then once you get it, and I think it's interesting that both of you, Laurence and Stephanie, you had some kind of reaction to something when it came close, like when it came close to you, then you felt a difference in that, this or that. And that's a huge win, as long as you feel the difference, that's the first step to, starting to feel a difference with things. And this is probably one of the things I use the most. I just realized while you were talking about it, because at some point when you do these things and you keep doing them, then they become part of who you are. So you don't think of them anymore as doing the exercise, this or that. And now that you're talking about it, I was like, oh, I do this all the time. It's so interesting, when I have some kind of conflict or something, and then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna park this somewhere, and that's what I'm doing, and shifting the viewpoint on that. And yeah, it's just the simplicity of it all is really awesome. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, and that's sometimes the difficulty, like you said, to accept the simplicity. Because consciousness is not very complicated. We make it complicated. Or not. I mean,
Yeah.
up to us, really. Up to us. So I want to first share the exercise that is the first exercise of the resurfacing workshop, which is the first day of the training. And it's about raising our will, because when we can actually increase our will and work on increasing our will, many things can solve themselves, because we suddenly work at what we want to work at and not go for the default. Hi, little girl. I have three girls there somewhere also.
Amy has two.
Ah, awesome.
Yeah, look.
Ah, beautiful. So all my girls have done Avatar, just saying, and they use it for creating their lives. But I'm gonna share with you the first exercise of the workshop. The workshop it starts with 2 days of 30 exercises, and they're very practical. And the first thing we work on is the will, because we need will to actually increase our capacity to perceive, our capacity to create. And even if we have the most amazing tools in front of us, if we don't have the will to use them, then nothing's going to happen, really. Okay, so the exercise goes like this. You're going to take a walk, and that you can do like tomorrow morning, for example, if you want. And it's a minimum of 10 minutes. And there's always a timing with the exercises. And I really recommend to actually keep that timing, because it's going to make the difference. Because maybe at 9 minutes, you're not going to feel nothing. But then at 10, suddenly something happens. So you're going to take a walk for 10 minutes minimum. You can do more. And then you notice something and decide how you would describe it. So, for example, I take a walk and I'm in this forest and I notice a tree, and I'll decide how I would describe the tree. Oh, it's very big, it's tall at least 30 meters, it has green leaves, it's the spring, and it feels really awesome because it's sunny. That's my description. You decide how you would describe whatever you decide to put your attention on. So you take a walk, notice something, and decide how you would describe it. And it's very important to make the decision, like to decide what you want to describe and how you want to describe it. Not just, okay, this is a tree, and then pass to the other one. How would you describe it is very important. You do that for like 10 minutes or more, and then you do it until you have the expected result. And the expected result is calming and increase in energy. So if after 10 minutes you didn't get a calming, like a calm or an increase in energy, keep on going until you get that, because there it's really awesome to have that result. And what I was saying to Nancy before is that I can send you the pamphlet with the description of 10 actions. Okay, there's like 10 little exercises that take 10, 15, sometimes 30 minutes to do. And it's really super to do them like in a row, like, and see what happens in your life when you do them, you know. I also host a room in Clubhouse. I don't know if you know Clubhouse. Do you know it's a new app only for iPhones? So if you don't have an iPhone, sorry. I can invite you to Clubhouse because I have some invitations spared. And I host a room on Monday morning at 8:30 and on Thursday morning at 8:30 for half an hour. That's it. I give exercises and I guide people so they can increase their awareness, their perceptions, or, you know, like all about consciousness and being more present and living the life you want to live. So if you want to join me on Clubhouse, you can. Nancy's going to give my information, I'm sure, and you can connect with me with whatever medium you want. And I wanted to end actually today, except if you have still questions, I can, you know, give a little time for questions and then a last exercise together. So first questions, if you have some. Even if you think, oh, maybe she already said it, or maybe, I don't know, doesn't matter. I can repeat things. Actually, I love that subject, so I can talk and talk and talk about it forever. Because it's life. I mean, consciousness is life, and creating my life deliberately. I mean, maybe you're curious, or maybe not, but I'm going to say it anyway. Maybe you're curious how I encountered Avatar. You know how Nancy encountered avatars was through me, but how I encountered it. So I was in Switzerland and I was a teacher at the conservatory. I'm a musician. I teach voice, I teach piano, I compose, I make music for little movies now. That's a new thing I've just created this year. It's awesome. I love it. And I wanted to know about pop music, and I wanted to know and develop my voice like a musical voice. And so I decided to move to New York City to study with Celine Dion. You probably know her. Celine Dion's vocal coach.
Sorry.
Nothing less.
You probably know her.
You know her. So I took my suitcases and I decided, because this is me, I decided to move to New York and to find him. So I just knew his name. I did not know his address or his number. I just knew his name. So I went to New York and I looked in the phone book, because at the time there was no internet like now. And I found him. And I called him and I said, I came from Switzerland to study with you. And he was like very impressed. So he said, okay, let's meet. And I met him. And I had the chance to study with him for like 3 years. And then I also met Celine, which was my life goal at the time. So I was really happy. I was really happy. And I built up my studio in New York. And actually, even if I was very successful with all my goals, there was something that was always coming back to me. I wanted to be a singer. And there was all those opportunities to be a teacher. Okay, so I wanted to be a singer on stage, but no, everybody was asking me, can you teach me? Can you teach me? Can you teach me? Can you teach me? And I was like, but why can't I not just be a performer? And it was not working. It was not working. Also, I didn't feel like a fish in the ocean when I was on stage, like I was feeling like a fish in the ocean when I was teaching. So of course that was coming through. And I was sharing that with a friend. I was like, why am I attracting always opportunity to be teaching and not opportunities to be on stage? And he said, I think it's time for you to do Avatar. And I said, what's Avatar? And he said, it's because your consciousness is attracting those opportunities and not the other ones. Your consciousness is like attracting what you already put in it, and now it's so full that you cannot create something new. So I did Avatar, and then I made my CD. I did a lot of concerts, and I'm still doing concerts, still teaching because I love it, but much more deliberately. You know what I mean? Like much more like, okay, I teach because I want to, and I give concerts because I want to, even though now for a year we cannot really do concerts, but and I teach more. But this, like for tomorrow and this weekend, I'm recording songs, and I mean, now it's very different, and I feel like a fish in the water with recording and with performing. So, and Nancy have seen me a few times with my students on stage and everything, and it's like really it changed my. Suddenly there was space, and I could create something new, and not like that was maybe the first thing that I created because this is what I did Avatar for. But then I created my husband and my children and my house, and now a new studio that's just awesome. That where now I have my dream studio where I actually can give concerts in it. I have a stage. I have lights. I have like, have you seen it, Nancy? It's just
Yeah, little pictures of it. Yeah.
it's just absolutely gorgeous, and it's like my life dream. But if I had not worked on myself, I would probably be having, like teach at a school forever and ever and ever, not having all of those experiences that Avatar enabled me to actually create. And it's not because I didn't have the capacity. It's not because I was, I don't know, not talented or I don't know what. It's not about that. It's just about the beliefs I had that were impeding me to change what I, really wanted to change. Yes,
Oh, I think
Laurence, you
Laurence
want?
has a question,
Yes, go ahead.
right?
I was wondering if you don't know what you really want, because you said you wanted to be a singer. I mean, it
Yeah.
didn't work for you, but you wanted to be a singer. But what if you know you want to change something, you'd like to change something, but you don't really know what you want?
Okay. So I was maybe an exception in Avatar.
Yes.
Yeah. I already knew what I wanted, but most people who come in Avatar, they don't really know yet.
Mhm.
I was
Yeah.
one of them, still one of them.
Yeah. Yeah. They didn't know. I mean, usually people come in Avatar, they have maybe a career, but they want to change a career and things like that. It's most of people. But I think because of my past and being, I don't know, like very, um, I would say that my experience in the hospital when I was a little kid shaped my whole life in a way that I always knew what I wanted. And I always knew what I didn't want because it was such a loss of time for me being away from my family, being away. No bullshit for me. I'm not going to do a 9 to 5 job. I'm not going to make my life a career for the money. No, I already knew I loved music, so I'm going to do music. That's it. I'm going to make it work. You know what I mean? But I didn't, there was still things in the way, but I think I never compromised on what I wanted ever. But that's probably from very, very long time ago already because of um, the feeling of having lost so much. Like when you're a little kid and you cannot move for like 6 months in a bed, I think that's like I'm not saying it's like something that I regret or anything because I created it apparently, but it's something that has an impact also on the way you then make decisions. But you can also decide to be a victim of it. But I didn't decide that. I mean, you always have like I said before, you can make the worst or the best of things, depending on your viewpoints. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I
Thank
wanted
you.
to. Oh, you're very welcome. So I wanted to end with an exercise that I really love. It's the compassion exercise, and it's to increase the compassion in the world. And you do it for a person that you want to give compassion to. Okay, so I think I'm going to guide you. And it's one of the exercises we did in the first 2 days also. So the objective is to increase the amount of compassion in the world, and the expected results is a personal sense of peace. This is the book we use. It's called Resurfacing. I can send you the link also to buy the books. They can be online, download it, you know.
And they're also in every language you could possibly think of,
Yeah,
which is
Italian,
nice.
French, Dutch, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think there are like 27 languages. So the instruction, this exercise can be done anywhere that people congregate, or you can just think of a person you want to address compassion to, and do the 5 steps on the same person. Do you have a person you want to address compassion to? Yeah? Amy too?
Still thinking.
Can be
Maybe
one of your
myself.
daughters.
Maybe myself.
Yeah, you can. Absolutely. Yeah. Or one of your daughters.
Or I think
Yeah.
it's a good, you can also think of someone you're having some resistance or some conflict with. I think that helps me always. If there's
Yeah,
more,
but-
you don't have that.
No, now not right now. But Nancy,
Okay.
if you want.
We can make something happen.
So, yeah, you can do it on yourself. It's also very nice. So with attention on the person, repeat to yourself, just like me, this person is seeking some happiness for his or her life. So you just think to yourself. With attention on the person, repeat to yourself, just like me, this person is trying to avoid suffering in his or her life. With attention on the person, repeat to yourself, just like me, this person has known sadness, loneliness, and despair. With attention on the person, repeat to yourself, just like me, this person is seeking to fulfill his or her needs. With attention on the person, repeat to yourself, just like me, this person is learning about life. And there's a quote that I really love, and it talks about love. So, love is an expression of the willingness to create space in which something is allowed to change. So thank you very much for being here tonight, all of you. And I'll be very happy to keep in connection with you, or just send you the exercises we talked about and the links we talked about. Up to you. Nancy, you can.
Well, thank you
forward
so
them.
much for taking time out of your busy schedule to give us a little bit of an experience. And I'll be sharing. Maybe you could share with me whatever it is you want to share with them, and I'll throw it in the group. Then it's also phone number or the Facebook or your Clubhouse, whatever, however they want to reach you.
I like my number. You can give them my number. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Awesome. If there's no other questions, then I can close this second session we had today. And if anyone else wants to add anything or say anything else, feel free. And otherwise, I'm just gonna wish you girls all a great night, and I will see you tomorrow morning.
I want to thank you very much for your time. Even though I was a little bit late, you're very inspiring. Thank you very much for all the
Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And
Thank
very
you very
generous.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for your generosity. Bye.
Oh, and if you
Nice
want to throw
meeting you.
back, sorry, Ariane, if you want to throw the host back to me, then I can end the call at some point.
What did you say? Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, but go ahead. Sorry, you were saying something.
No, I have to make you host. That's right. There you go.
Yes, great.
Yeah.
Yes, that's why I invited her, because I knew she was going to inspire us in some way, shape, or form today.
Wonderful.
And Nancy,
yeah,
you recorded it, eh? So
yes,
I can
yes.
see the. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you
I'm gonna share as soon as possible, as soon as it's ready.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ariane
You're welcome.
and Nancy.
Thank you, girls.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Bye.
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 Bye, Stephanie.
Bye.
Oh, how nice.